I'm Jim. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I will be disassembling the ignition housing and water pump stuff on my Rotax 912 to get the water pump out and the ignition housing out so I can ship that off to Leading Edge Airfoils so they can replace the leaking water pump seal. So I should warn you up front, I'm not an A&P. I do not have Rotax training, so anything and everything you see here could be dangerous and wrong, so watch at your own risk. But if you're willing to do that, let's go for a ride. Okay, so to get this apart, we want to lock the crankshaft. There's a place in front to insert a pin. First you have to have it so that cylinders 1 and 2 are top dead center, and according to the manual, having this trigger here between these two coils gets you very close. Okay, I should be able to pull this plug out. Excuse my hands. And allegedly we can see in there and see the knot. Okay, I could not see that notch, but I can feel it, and I'm in it right now. Wiggle things a little bit. So I'm centered. That's okay. That seems to have bottomed out. The torque on that is supposed to be 88.48 inch-pounds. I don't think my torque wrench is accurate down to the nearest 0.01 inch-pounds, so I'm going to use the 10 Newton-meter spec right there. That should be easier to hit. And yes, I'm being a smartass. Okay, so I should be able to pull this bolt out of the end of the flywheel here, and if anybody's interested, Dex Cool does not taste anywhere near as good as regular yellow antifreeze. Son of a bitch, that's tight. There. Okay. Take two. So this is a special tool from Rotax to fit in here, protect the end of the crankshaft. The puller tool. These are loaners from Leading Edge Airfoils. This thing is like $130 to buy it, and well, I'm going to use it like once. So I really appreciate the loaner program. And I'll also mention when I get this housing out with the water pump in it down here, I'm going to ship it off to them because it takes more tools to do the seal and stuff, and they'll do it for 1 hour's labor, and they're probably less likely to screw it up than me. So let me find a wrench that fits this, and I'll be right back. Okay, there's always that one tool that's at the airport when you need it at home, or at home when you need it at the airport. And then the question is, do I spend an hour in the car, $5 in tolls, or do I go spend 35 bucks at the local hardware store and just buy a duplicate? I got, most of my tools I got duplicated, but not everything. Okay, come on, baby. Oh, that's tight. Let me reread the directions. Okay, I didn't see anything in the manual that suggests I should do anything, anything other than reef on it. So reef on it we will. Doesn't say anything about removing anything. I don't see anything in the way. What was that? Oh, it was just a flywheel popping loose. Scared me. Not the kind of noise you want to hear. There we go. Okay. All swell that ends swell. Plus now I have a big crescent wrench here. There's the flywheel. If you're wondering what they look like. I've never seen one before. Okay, next up, pull this housing off. It can go in 2 positions. They suggest you mark it, which I did, but I guess given that I got all this video, I should just be able to look at the video and see which way it went, right? Oh, just, okay, this one's gonna be stubborn. Here's another tool. My hand impact driver would probably be handy, but that's at home. An hour away, $5 in tolls. Hour round trip. Okay, that worked. Okay. There's an O-ring there that I should probably replace. Okay, I should be able to get this out. And I can still taste that stupid Dex Cool. This one is supposedly stainless, but it doesn't look stainless to me. I bet you it's going to give me trouble. Oh, okay. Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're lucky. And these are all different lengths too. That one is the bottom. I will put them back in the, I don't want to put them in, screw them into the housing because that's going to go away. I'll put them back in the impeller housing, if you would, not the ignition housing. And there's a gasket behind this, another thing to replace. Okay, set this aside. Okay, that's interesting. Let me step out here. Okay, so this is supposedly the stainless bolt per the manual, but this one is stainless and it has some kind of copper. Edit that out. A copper ring underneath it, so apparently these two are switched. They look to be the same length. So somebody's been in here before, apparently. According to the manual, it is advantageous to loosen the impeller while it's on the engine and the crankshaft is locked. Another special tool loaner from Leading Edge Airfoils. I don't know if I need to do this or not. I didn't think to ask when I talked to them at Leading Edge, so I got the tool, I'm going to do it, and then make a decision. That's all there is to that. I don't know if there's any, that's the seal stuff, that looks messy. Okay, next is the starter. Apparently these two bolts back here are the ones that hold the end of the starter on, and if you slide it out without holding it, the brushes pop off and all that kind of fun stuff. Kind of crazy, but okay, I'll bring you back when I got the nuts off. And there's a spring clamp that's conveniently located directly in line with the mount there. I apologize for my big fat hands getting in the way. Okay, that just came undone. That looks like that. Screw that back in so I don't lose that. And I think the starter should come right out. Famous last words. Yeah, it's wiggling. It's coming. It's coming. Oh yeah, see that? Yeah. Oh, and this back cap. Yeah, the whole thing is on the verge of falling apart into 3 separate pieces. And I got spacers here. Okay. I will have to put that somewhere where it won't get disturbed because I do not want to have it come apart on me. I might even put a zip tie around it. Okay, so I got that zip tied up so I shouldn't pull out and pull brushes out. There's an O-ring there. It's another thing to replace. Looks like it might have been, it's kind of greasy there. Might have been leaking around that O-ring. I don't know. There is a little oil I've noticed, so that could be the cause. Okay, so the electrical stuff, I think it can remain on the housing as I pull it out. I just need to unplug it up here. I didn't ask, so I guess before I ship the housing off to Leading Edge Airfoils, I'll ask them if I should pull the coils and the stator out. In the meantime, let's get, this has got to come apart one way or the other. I'm going to put some tape on these so I know which is which. Which old witch? The Wicked Witch. Oh, that's kind of worn through. Do something with that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hand was probably in the way. Okay. Let me get some tape on those. Okay, so these go to the regulator. These with the zip ties go together, and then I got one down here without a zip tie. Those two should go together. I'm sure you can see a lot there with my fat hands in the way. So that clears that out. And this is already disconnected from the regulator. Okay. And now these plugs here, I put zip ties on the matching pair. I think there's a difference in the color code maybe. I don't know, I'm not seeing it. Oh, this one's got some red stuff on it. I don't know. But it does, you know, depending on which way you plug these in, it changes which trigger coil triggers which ignition coil versus top versus bottom plug. So I just soon put them back the way they were, assuming they're correct. And I hate these. Where do I need to push to get these things to unlock? Maybe here? Okay, I'm gonna have to, I don't want to break those plugs. Ooh, it looks like if I lift this way, that looks like, so that, yeah, okay. So this little tab here, pull it this way and that comes right apart. Okay, not even hard. Ta-da. Okay, everything is marked. It should be able to unbolt this whole assembly. Hold on. This needs to get unbolted here. And then it should just be a matter of pulling these bolts there. Should. Yeah. Okay. They made this easy to get to, and the threads are about a mile long. Fortunately, the bolt isn't turning, so I don't have to try. There's no way to get a socket in there. I'll bring it back. Yeah. See that nut in there? The engine's on its side right now. When I was taking the ignition coil off, it slipped out of my fingers, bounced off my knuckles, went in that hole and into the crankcase, but no accounting for dumb luck. Just tip the crankcase on its side and I'll get in there with the magnet and fish that out. Okay, I think the next step is to remove 7 Allen head bolts here. 1. That's 7. And it says, according to the manual, a sharp rap with a mallet should loosen it. Question is, where do I wrap it? That worked. Oh, I took the Woodruff key out and put tape around it per the instructions to avoid damaging the oil seal. And it appears that the oil seal is what I'm hung up on, this tape. Okay. I guess rather than putting the tape all the way around, yeah, it's tape holding me up. Stand by. Okay, instead of black plastic tape all the way around, I just put a piece of masking tape there. It should be thinner, and yes, ta-da. Now if I can carefully fish these wires out. Okay, that's the starter. That turns freely. Somehow the starter, there's a one-way clutch in there somewhere. This must be the camshaft down here. And this drives what? Okay, so that drives the water pump. And I don't know what this worm gear thing would drive because I don't see anything engaged in it. Okay, let me shut this down for a second. Okay, it looks like the nut that I dropped probably wouldn't have made it past here and wouldn't have ended up down the crankcase. There's a little O-ring there to replace. But, okay, I'll get a rag over that. Okay, so this seal must be under here. And it looks like you have to get that shaft out. Let me flip it over. Yeah, so you got the shaft and the gear. And I think two decisions that I made that were good decisions was A, taking the engine off the airplane, and B, deciding to ship this out to Leading Edge Airfoils and let them deal with it. There's a bronze bushing in the center of that housing. And that's the rear main oil seal there. Okay, so I decided I didn't want to ship this off with all these wires and dangly bits hanging on, potentially damaged in shipping, so I took all of this stuff out. I didn't record that. I have the old style coils, and they got spacers and washers and spacers and things, so rather than, actually I think it goes this way. I don't know, I'll figure it out. So rather than, you know, try to keep track of all that, I just put tape on all the bolts just to hold everything in place. I did tag these on, you know, and I took a picture so I could put them back the way that they were, but yeah, so I'll go back to my pictures, but having them taped up like this, all I got to do is figure out this way or this way, and I'll be all set. I will point out I didn't need to take this all apart because I had Leading Edge Airfoils reassemble that. They put in a new impeller. There's a new style impeller. They cleaned this all up. There was a lot of you know, rust from all this stuff, but so it's nice. Came back real nice. And they leak checked this, pressure tested it, 20 psi. I got logbook, sticker, happy camper. Okay, so with that, I think we're going to wrap this video. If you want to watch me put it together, you got a couple choices. You can watch this video backwards or wait for the next one to come out. So thanks for watching. I hope you found it entertaining.